policing, and representation of women ownership of means of production and participation in strategic sectors of the economy. The delegates of the Third People's Assembly are particularly pained that the South African Police Service are yet to resolve the brutal murder of Namhla Mthwa, whose murder earlier this year made national news and further sharpened the pain suffered by women at the hands of men in this country. The Third Eastern Cape People's Assembly noted with concern the continued brain drain in the province as a result of consistent out-migration to other provinces because of the lack of opportunities in this province. And also because of nepotism, rampant corruption, decay of public infrastructure, lack of reliable means of public transportation, poor public and private healthcare provision, degenerating state of education, and rampant crime. The Third PPA recommitted to the movement to work towards making the Eastern Cape a conducive place to live, work, and raise families through efficient and responsive government and proper maintenance of public infrastructure. The Provincial People's Assembly reflected on commissions on elections, communications, governance, and finance, deliberated meaningfully, and proposed the following. The incoming leadership of the EFF in the entire province must immediately deal with the water crisis induced by drought in the province. This must include own intervention as well pressuring government to provide relief measures to the affected communities. The collective leadership of the province must intensify the struggle against femicide, against all crimes committed against women in the province. The EFF must take note that 2023 will mark 150 years since the death in Robben Island of the greatest military commander against the British colonialism, against the British colonialism. Chief Maqoma Kamqika Kamlawu Kagagabe Kapalo. The incoming leadership of the Eastern Cape must work with the Gagabe Kingdom to honor, supposed to say with Gagabe Kingdom and other kingdoms, to honor the memory of this relentless fighter against land dispossession. The incoming leadership of this province must develop a suite of interventions to provide assistance to the widows of the workers who were killed in Marikana in 2012. These workers came largely from the Alfrenzo region and OR Tambo region in this province. The incoming leadership of the movement must ensure that each school in the province has a scholar transport and must verify that all buses and taxis used for scholar transport are roadworthy, and must work with transport association to ensure that the lives of our children are safeguarded. The EFF in the metropolitan municipalities, which is BCM and Nelson Mandela in the province, must lead the campaign of closing potholes in this ridden province. The incoming leadership collective of the incoming leadership collective of the EFF must immediately establish and strengthen its political education campaign in the province. All newly elected leadership structures of the province, all public representatives, and all candidates for public office must undergo a thorough induction and political education program. The incoming leadership must note that Mthatha has one of the highest rates of murder in the country. The incoming leadership must develop a coordinated strategy with police, community structures, churches, community policing forums to develop a comprehensive solution to the problem of crime in that area. Lusikisiki is one of the highest rates of rape in the country, has one of the highest rates in the country. The incoming leadership of the EFF must strengthen its provincial gender desk and paying specific attention to Lusikisiki to fight against the practice of ukutwala and develop a coordinated community-led strategy to fight against all forms of sexual crimes. Number 10. The incoming leadership of the EFF must immediately engage with all traditional leaders in the province and have a very public campaign to stop the deaths of initiates during the initiation season in the province. This campaign must start immediately after this conference and ensure that where the EFF exists, there are no illegal initiations school and no deaths initiates is recorded. Number 11, the EFF in the Eastern Cape must develop an internal EFF agricultural development strategy to ensure that all arable land in the province that lies fallow get utilized to produce food and provide jobs for our people. This must include the revitalization of irrigation systems in the province that were operational under the homeland governments of the Ciskei and Transkei. The EFF leadership in the province must lead a campaign to refurbish both the Absa Stadium and Orient Theatre in East London. The Orient Theatre is the registration venue that we used, and the Absa Stadium is this one. And restore them as the prime sporting venues in the Buffalo City Metro. This must be done by June 2023. Councillors of BCM must lead that agenda. By June 2023, we must have a progress. The EFF in the province must identify all schools that still use pit litherans and develop targeted interventions to eliminate pit litherans in schools by the end of 2023. All mud schools and instances in which land under the trees bring all mud schools and instances in which children learn under the trees, bring these to the attention of the legislature and national parliament and develop a coordinated intervention to eliminate mud schools under the trees by 2024. We acknowledge while there has been electoral growth in all elections, the EFF participated in the province, the overall electoral performance has not been satisfactory. We acknowledge that while there has been electoral growth in all elections, the EFF participated in the province, the overall electoral performance has not been satisfactory. We commit to do everything in our power to ensure that in 2024, the EFF contests and wins elections. Elections in the province of the Eastern Cape Our dedicated focus from this assembly would be to be establish voting district-based structures, VDETFs. We are reminded that we must focus on VDETFs. Structures in all the 4,800 VDs and 4,800 VDs and prepare them for 2024 elections. There was a maximum participation by all delegates, and we resolve on further issues of health, basic education and early childhood, transport, and we will communicate all resolutions by all communication means. Lastly, okay, but we must capture we must have a declaration anyway. Lastly, the third PPA is encouraged by the momentum towards the end of the 1 million membership campaign by all regions, sub-regions and branches of the EFF in the Eastern Cape. Is encouraged, but that doesn't say we have met our targets. We still have to meet our targets. We are a generation of economic freedom fighters, and we shall overcome. Aluta continua. Amanda. Thank you very much.
Mandla, way two. Comrades, sawucela input from the floor.
The sentence that speaks to 1 million membership must be followed by another sentence that says that the PPA commits that all branches, regions are going to reach their set target. So the sentence after the 1 million membership that you say you are encouraged, I don't know what you're encouraged by, but it must say, we commit as the third Provincial People's Assembly that all branches, sub-regions, regions, and the province will reach their set targets towards the 1 million membership before the end of 2022. So that there's a clear commitment from this assembly in terms of that commitment.
Thanks, DP. Let's go for the adoption. Asekisan, let's adopt time. Teta saku.
Kuko indawo endingakhange ndive kakuhle okanye ndingayivanga at all kwi-declaration that kunento eqhubekayo apha ephondweni, that is corruption. Andivanga nto uthetha nge-corruption, of which corruption ke ndicinga into yobana yeyona nto kufuneka ilwilwe okanye ziyilwile apha ephondweni. Enkosi.
Sure. So, sibhale ntoni ke pha kwi-declaration ngale nto ye-corruption?
Bendicimba nje uzawuthi Moses siyayazi bana urhulumente ophetheyo ucorrupt kakhulu, Bendicimba ke ngoku uzawuchaza phaya okanye mhlawumbi kuzawuchazwa into yokubana uqala ngoku going forward okanye mhlawumbi usinike i-date ezawube iruthwe out ngayo i-corruption. Knowing very well into yobana apha ephondweni, hey, the ruling government is very corrupt. Thank you.
Thank you. Chairperson Alfred Nzo.
Enkosi kakhulu usihlalo ngumawande Magadla, Alfred Nzo region, Umzimvubu sub-region Ward 4. I thought you had said that you wanted a hand for a mover for adoption. So I move that we adopt the conference resolutions as read by the current provincial secretary.
Declarations.
Declarations, yes, sorry. As read by the current provincial secretary. Thank you very much.
The seconder.
Thanks. Igama lam ndingunwabisa Langasiki ndisuka Alfred Nzo ewine Madikizela Mandela Ward 30 ndiphakama no seconder uMawande Magadla i-declaration kaNobhala enkosi.
Thank you. Our declaration are adopted. Let's, comrades, let's welcome our new chairperson. Give us the closing remarks of our conference.
Amandla. Awethu. Khula EFF khula. Qina EFF qina. Amandla. Long live the CIC, long live. Thank you very much, comrades. We are not going to be long. Greetings to the Deputy President of the EFF, Commissar Floyd Nyigo Shivambu, our official deployed here in the Eastern Cape. We greet you, DP, and greetings to the convener of deployees, CCT deployees, and all the city deployees that are present here in Bogoto, Womandla, Abantu Abangomama, Ukomisas, and also greetings to the newly elected PCT and all RCTs and delegates of this conference. Comrades, I won't be long. Firstly, I want to humbly register one thing that we are humbly accepting and taking this thing of being elected very serious, and we appreciate yourselves for entrusting us with that responsibility. Thank you very much. Number two, I want to applaud the work that has been done by the outgoing PCT, the PCT that left under the capable lens of Commissar Zini Techan. Comrades, I want to just give a historical context in what I'm going to say. Deliberately, if you were listening, probably 2 or 3 times, the leadership, both the president and DP, have raised a very important issue, which to me is very close to my heart. The fact that we were handed over for the first time in the Eastern Cape a organization by a PCT that finished its term. EFF is 9 years of existence, but for the first time in the Eastern Cape, the PCT finishes its term and hand over. And when you look there, Commissar Zini is the longest leader in the history of the Eastern Cape that have served and run the duration up until finish. I'm giving you this thing so that you can understand why the president said, when you are asked to do something, at least don't sushia igaba entsimini. Don't leave without finish. Commissar Zini served as a coordinator for 2 years here when we were disbanded. And he further availed himself for 4 years. Finish. I'm singling him out deliberately because comrades have crisscrossed for the past three months this province. You might think you know Eastern Cape. None of us knows the Eastern Cape. The 3 months, in these 3 months, I've lost weight. Now I'm imagining what is going to be these 4 years, because we are not going to run just with a marathon speed. We are going to run with a sprinter speed, a marathon. And we have learned that. We have learned that from our leadership here, Commissars. I can tell you now, comrades, I salute leadership, Commissar Zini, with all reverence. I respect him because none of us could have done. We are going to have someone, at least we have someone that we can always say, when Apela Mandla Guti, we can always say that this man ran 6 years without fail. Now, Tina, we have not even finished 4 years. We are going to be encouraged by the fact that there is someone. Before him, there was no one, but Yena has left Umzila. I salute all the comrades that he has served with. I want to link this thing, comrades, with what I was deployed in KZN. You might think the fact that TP is sitting here, we are a product of TP. I want to salute TP because finally, TP, you can see that this thing is taking shape. Finally, the fact that we are given an organization by people who have finished the race, it means that at least this thing in the Eastern Cape, the 7 years that the Deputy President has spent here, when he arrived in 2015, there was no even a scarecrow, but there was something anyana. But now at least we can see that at least there is, as much as we are saying these results are not satisfactory, but it's all about there are people who have sacrificed. It's not easy to all the time come. Tina, we are staying here in the Eastern Cape, we sleep at home, but the fact that they are always on the road to come and tell us, Uguti, comrades, it's doable. If we can do it, we are not asking what we cannot do. All that it takes the fact that there is conviction in their heart. They have made a commitment that economic freedom must be attained in our lifetime. They have not postponed this thing. And I can tell you now, comrades, we are going to make our contribution. Eastern Cape is not going to be the same. But we must clean some other things, comrades. We came here having different perspective, and we have the right to do that. But that thing ended in the last 4 hours. If you are serious about building from this solid foundation, you will go out of this door and mobilize everyone, like the president has said, behind this leadership. And the first machinery to do that, the first machinery is ourselves, and all of us, we must embark on a project of unity because we don't have time. So ngesixhosa ke kuthiwa ke kwabe bekhokhela lobbying kwanye nabo bebe inxalenye lobbying lifikile ngokwexesha lokuthi mawuvalwe umkhusane. Why are we closing the curtain? It's because of we are entering a new terrain. When we were coming here, we came here knowing the problems of the people of the Eastern Cape. And luckily, when we were opening Friday, DP gave us a clear picture. If you don't know the Eastern Cape, go back to the speech of DP. You will know what type of an organization and what is the framework of what the organization expects from us. You might think you came to the conference to vote and all those things. You came here to take a responsibility. You participated to draw up a program of action. You have elected the leadership, but you were not excused because you were given the picture by DP and the president have given you a character. What type of a person that will make these changes? When the president was talking here, he was giving us what type of a fighter we need going forward. That is why he pointed out on this ugly picture of having all males. It's not Lady Smith, Black Mambazo, this thing. It can be. Across emzini weinsizwe. So, comrades, we all have a responsibility now to live. I'm from church. Xa kushunyayelwa, your responsibility is to how do I live this thing? How do I become this person that the president was talking about here? Asinoba ngamadada singene enkomfeni siphume sisengaba abantu bebengawo. Let's become better people. Comrades, they are short-term. We are under pressure. The day is the 6th of November. The commitment that was made by the organizations that by end of this year, which is end of November, we only have 3 weeks if you start tomorrow. We must meet the target. And if we don't meet that target, it means we are sending a signal that we have failed on the women issue. Now we are failing on the 1 million membership. Can the organization have a discussion around the Eastern Cape? After using money and after we have given an indication that we are from branches, and then we fail in 3 weeks to get 31,000 members to meet the target. It means that we have lied to the organization. Therefore, I'm calling upon yourselves, all of us, not this PCT only, all of us, we are delegates from the branches. We were confirmed just the day before yesterday that we are 1,090. If all of us, we can commit that a week outside the structures of the EFF, which are the branches, all of us as individuals, a week, I will not close the 6 days without making sure that I reach a target, my individual target of 30 membership, new membership of the EFF, which will mean that this conference alone will deliver on the 31,000 that is needed. And then all structures will mobilize them to make sure that we go beyond. Because we have wasted 3 months of our time dealing with the preferences and all that, and we left the organization. Now it's time, comrade. There is no time to rest. We are going to hit the ground running. All of us, we are not going to wait for deployment. We are not going to wait that we are deployed where In Nelson Mandela, there's a backlog of 11,000. I must make sure before I go and practice where I'm deployed, I must make sure that I leave that issue as a Nelson Mandela resolved. We will never have a holiday in December. We'll never be happy. We'll never rest. If we don't meet the target, comrade. Hence, I make a clear call to all of us. Let's join hands, unite, and make sure that we meet the target. Lele two. Number two, comrades, within this month alone, before the 16th of December, we must make sure that we have RGAs. Here we were told that the PCT couldn't fundraise. Here you have elected a treasurer. This PCT collective must make sure that those RGA, they must sit and they are proper without the assistance of national. We have started on a wrong foot. Therefore, will be forever trying to repay. Comrades. So we are appealing to all of you to make sure that we embark on these programs. We'll meet next year with other, because we need this resolution, refinances in program forms, so that we, all of us, rally behind this leadership, not only behind the names, but behind a unity of purpose, a unity in action. So we are making that call here, comrades. I'm not man of many words, but comrades, I want to call on all of us. We know Imeko, whilst we are closing the curtain on these internal processes, we are exposed, or we are exposing and availing ourselves to all these things that are happening in our province. One, if we want to see, the president made a reference, this is a home of legends. It has produced leaders, and made a comment on an issue that here we are not led by a leader. Oscar Mabuyane is not a leader. We don't have a government in the Eastern Cape. But the EFF is not ayoyikwa. Even Cutting Edge is doing well than the EFF in terms of opposing these people. One thing that was cited by DP on Friday was the fact that even in the space of media, we don't occupy. Whilst we don't exist among our people who are not known, but even there, where there is where we build a public opinion, but we don't exist. Comrades, all of us, where there is a fighter, Oscar Magangonwabi and his government, the ANC must not be comfortable. This 2024 agenda that is being set here is a 2024 agenda of removing the ANC. And as is your Tuga at that time, it starts now. So all of us, we must wear techies. There are no high heels anymore. We have a solid machinery here. It was delivered to us with public representatives. My comrade, I'm the first generation of councillors. Activism, we councillors, sicela ibuye bethuni. We can't have councillors that are baswalowisha ngumasipala. They are not executive. They must be obsessed about resolving and using that institution called the municipality to resolve the issues of our people. You will never resolve if you don't know them. You will never know them if you are not there. You don't walk among them. We must know that there's a pothole here. How How will the municipality fix it if we don't know? So we're calling on all the battalion of the EFF who are public reps, including the MPLs. We're calling on all of them. I'm a comrade, we are full-time volunteers. We get paid for doing this job. Asizukengana, asizuleqana, but asizukengana. We are program and action orientated. We want to be measured. The leadership is not enticed about how good we talk about them. What will make them rest is to know that the EFF is in good hands there. Because in all the targets, these comrades go beyond the targets, not lying and fabricating. We must stop this culture of lying and fabricating in the Ogbana, as long that I'm good in front of the leadership. We must do away because it always catch up with us. We are delaying the revolution, comrade. We know where these things are happening and we will zoom in. We have watched for a very long time, but now at least we're given some powers and been confirmed. We are going to use them to make sure that rather sibe unpopular thina as iziqu kunokuba makufailishe le project of economic freedom in our lifetime. Asizange ucenga ukuthandwa. Leadership, we again lastly submit ourselves that we are committing, we will do whatever that we are told. This conference has not only resolved on leadership, it has resolved on program of action. And that program of action starts tomorrow. It ends in 2026, and it has milestones in between. Without comrades, there is a saying that says, without a revolutionary movement, there can be no revolution. We need a solid EFF. You might think, Nina, the organization is playing when it says, from now on till the end of next year, let's embark on a simple program of ensuring that we've got voting district coordinating committees of 10. In all 480 VTs, the call is made, for a full year, let's embark on that. Is that too much to ask? It's not. You know what those people will do. Those people will secure the EFF votes. Each person will bring 10. They are 10. Each person will bring 10. That means in a VT, we won't get less than 100. You multiply that 100. You multiply the 480 VTs by 100. The 4,800 by 100. It takes you straight to a number that is very significant. Where this thing of taking over will be realized. So I'm appealing to all of us. I was listening attentively. All of us were listening. Let's now internalize and action. Amanda, awethu. Elilizwe lolokhokho bethu. Elilizwe labantu abamnyama. Elilizwe lokhokho bethu. Elilizwe labantu abamnyama. Elilizwe chocho. Elilizwe labantu abamnyama. Elilizwe chocho. Elilizwe labantu abamnyama. Ebizani fire brigade. Fire brigade, Habizani fire brigade, fire brigade, EFF Chise Eastern Cape, Impuma Colony, EFF Chise Eastern Cape, Impuma Colony, Habizani fire brigade. Ingumlilo lo, Ibizani fire brigade. Ingumlilo lo, EFF Chise Eastern Cape. Uma Colony, Amanda. How two? The conference is officially closed. Go well, go home, safe from this.
And you are sure of them. I don't know if we've tried that before, but because we almost structure. You are guaranteed the base before the